So a moth walks into a podiatrist's office.
I like this already.
And the moth says, "Hey, doc."
I gave Molly cancer and diarrhea.
And the moth says, "Hey, doc, I need your help." And the doctor says, "Hey, I'm a podiatrist. I'm here to help you. What can I do?" And the moth says, "Well, I'm just in a bad way. Doc, every morning I wake up and I get on the train with the same people at the same time. And I get off at the office, the same office every day. And I do my job just like all the other people in the office, data input at a real estate company where I help manage databases of information about tenants all across the country."
I'm delighted, by the way, by the idea that a moth is doing all this. Just delighted.
Yeah.
And he probably would fly into the podiatrist's office.
He might. And I eat my lunch at the same place with this outside where it's sunny, and I eat the same turkey sandwich my moth wife made for me.
Weird.
And I come back and I finish my job, and when it's all said and done, I've earned my paycheck, and while I'm sitting there on the train on the way home to come back to my moth family, I keep thinking about how much better it would be for me and everybody else if I threw myself in front of the train. And the doc's like, "Oh my God, that's fucking awful. Why? So you're having suicidal thoughts?" And the moth says, "Boy, am I, doc. I just feel like this is the job that I've always wanted, and it's lost all of its meaning. I don't even know why I'm doing this anymore. And I think about my family," which was the thing. It's how I got into it to begin with. You know, I wanted to be a singer when I was young.
This better not be this fucked up just to drag it out. And this is Magic Treehouse said, "Don't make me regret this."
This is all important to the joke. I wanted to be a singer, and I and that was tough. And I took this job because I wanted to support my family, my wife, Darna, and our kids, Bill and Janine.
You are just dragging it out now.
And we got a little house, and it's the American dream. We're living it. We're the happiest moth family in the block. Other moths that from my family where I grew up, they don't have it as good as us. And I can't go, a day doesn't go by where I don't think about taking that 45 that I keep cocked and loaded by the bedside table and putting it in my mouth and ending it all. Like, oh my God, that's terrible. But what does your wife think about this? And he says, "I can't even talk to my wife. Every morning I wake up before I go to work and I open up the blinds and I look over at her and I don't even know her anymore. She's not the person I married."
But how's he going to use a gun as a moth?
That's a good question. I'll get to that.
Okay.
I'll remember to mention that.
Yeah, the wife's moth is a moth.
and I the moth as well. Mrs. Moth, what was it? Darnine?
Darna. The moth wife's name was Darna.
I can't even keep her name straight, Doc. Is it Darnine, Darna, Daryl? I don't even know. And we used to have such a strong connection. We did things together. And then in the last few years, I don't even feel like she knows who I am. And I don't know who she is anymore. And I can't help but think that if I did throw myself off the cliff and let my wings fall back and smash into the rocks in the seashore near the suburban town where we live, that she would be better off. But I also think that she probably wouldn't even care. It wouldn't even bother her. And this is how I live my life every day.
I'm getting played.
And then when I look at my daughter, she doesn't even listen to me anymore.
You got 20 seconds.
She doesn't even show up for dinner, and she's always out and around. And I try to tell her not to make the same mistakes that me and Darna made. And she doesn't listen. And I feel like I don't even have any value to her as a husband. And the doc says, "Wow, that's really heavy, man. I wish, is there anything else?" He's like, "Yeah, there's one more thing, Doc, I got to tell you. And this is probably the worst thing of it all after all of that. When I look my baby boy, my baby moth boy in the eyes, I know that I don't love him anymore." And it's been
all right.
It's been when he was born, he was the light. He was the joy of my world, but I've lost all connection to my whole family and my reason for living. And honestly, Doc, I got to tell you, the only reason I don't put that 45 that I keep cocked and loaded by my bedside table that I mentioned earlier, that I don't wrap my single moth appendage around through the hair trigger and with my other moth arm flip it back and point it right at my head and pull the trigger, is because the inconvenience of cleaning my splattered brains and wings off the wall on the bed where my wife that I used to love and I sleep.
That's too fucking dark, bro.
Is so upsetting to me that I don't even want them to be bothered with that. And the doctor says, "Wow, that's heavy, man. I'm really sorry to hear that, but yeah, I gotta ask you. I'm a podiatrist. You should be talking to a psychiatrist. I mean, you need help. Why did you come into this office?" And the moth says, "Well, you left the light on."